Every time you make a split-second decision, a last-minute tackle, a clutch shot, a peek around a corner, something is happening inside you that you can't fully explain. Something is calculating. Something is deciding. Something is experiencing all of this. But what is that something? Does it actually exist? And can you prove it? That's exactly what René Descartes set out to answer in 1637. And what he found might be the most important and most disturbing idea in the history of human thought. Descartes decided to doubt everything he possibly could, not out of nihilism, but as a deliberate philosophical experiment. He asked, what if my senses lie to me? What if the physical world isn't real? What if everything I think I know, every memory, every experience, every certainty is being fed to me by a perfect illusion? Think about it like this. Every game you've ever played operates on rules you didn't write, in a world you didn't build, following physics that were programmed by someone else. You navigate it as if it's real. You feel genuine frustration, genuine satisfaction, genuine fear inside it, but none of it is actually real. Descartes asked, how do you know life itself isn't exactly the same? He called this methodological doubt, using doubt as a scalpel to cut away everything uncertain until he found something that absolutely could not be faked. And he found it. Everything is even if everything is an illusion, even if every experience I've ever had is fabricated, there's one thing that cannot be faked: the doubting itself. To be deceived, you must exist to be deceived. To doubt, you must exist to doubt. Even if every single thought I have is completely wrong, the fact that thoughts are happening at all means something exists that is having them. I think, therefore I am. Cogito, ergo sum. The one bedrock certainty that survives total skepticism. You can take away everything: the world, other people, your senses, your memories, and this one thing remains. Something is thinking, and something must exist to think it. Before Descartes, every major philosophical tradition started from the outside, from God, from nature, from society, from the external world. Descartes completely inverted this. He said the only genuine starting point of all knowledge is the internal experience of the individual thinking mind. This is the birth of modern philosophy, the birth of the modern concept of the individual self. Everything that came after, Kant, Hume, Nietzsche, existentialism, psychology, cognitive science, artificial intelligence, is in some way a direct response to this single move Descartes made. He didn't just answer a question, he changed the question everyone was asking. But here's where it gets genuinely unsettling. A philosopher named Lichtenberg noticed something Descartes quietly smuggled past everyone. The cogito proves that thinking is happening, but it doesn't actually prove there is a unified I doing the thinking. Think about your best ever performance in football, in a game, in an exam. The moments where everything clicked and you were completely in flow. What were you thinking about in those moments? Nothing. You weren't thinking. You were just doing. The I, the conscious self, had essentially stepped aside, and things worked better without it. Hume pushed this even further. When he looked inward, searching for this unified self, this fixed observer sitting behind all his experiences. He found nothing, just a flowing stream of thoughts and perceptions with no fixed experiencer behind them. Buddhist philosophy said exactly this 2,000 years before Descartes was born. The concept of anatta, non-self. The self is not a fundamental reality. It is a story the mind tells about itself, a narrative constructed after the fact. And modern neuroscience, Antonio Damasio's research shows the self is assembled by the brain moment to moment. It is not the source of your experience. It is but the product of it. So here's the question that should genuinely disturb you. In football, there's a concept called game intelligence or football IQ. The ability to read situations before they fully develop, to make decisions before conscious thought catches up. The best players in the world don't think about what they're doing. They've transcended thinking. The decision happens and the self shows up afterwards to take credit. Same in gaming. Your best plays happen in pure reaction before the I has had time to interfere. So who actually made those decisions? If the self is the thing doing the thinking, why does it perform best when it gets out of the way? Maybe Descartes had it backwards. Maybe the I doesn't precede the thinking. Maybe the I is what thinking produces, assembled fresh in every moment, every decision, every experience. And if that's true, the certainty you feel about your own existence, your own consistent identity, your own self, might be the most sophisticated illusion your mind has ever constructed. You feel real, but feeling real and being real are not the same thing. And Descartes, the man who tried harder than anyone to prove the self exists, may have accidentally given us the tools to doubt it entirely. That's it for today, guys. Sorry I've not been posting for a year or so. I've been in 10th grade. I've began studying, and so I didn't have much time. Hope you like this new style of content that I've started to produce, and if you like it genuinely, then you can just like the video. If you didn't like it, you could comment what I can improve so I can take your feedback and use it to make my next video even better. Subscribe if you want more content like this. Thank you for today, and stay curious.